In this video, guys, we're going to be taking another look at Harmony 1. Right, we're going to start off here with the weekly chart, guys. We're going to talk about where things are likely to go up towards the end of the year as we see wave 5 in. Now, guys, it's worth just recapping where we've been so far. We basically started this impulse wave to the upside in March of 2020. We actually finished wave 1 around August. Wave 2 was finished around the end of 2020 in December. And then we obviously went into wave 3. This is the one where a lot of people were starting to adopt Harmony 1. Loads of people were getting in here and obviously has potentially seen some losses so far. But ultimately, wave 3 is only the middle wave, and this kind of peaked out around March. Now we're into wave 4. We're having the correction wave, and this is actually a little bit overextended, a little bit further beyond where we would actually have normally placed a fourth wave, but it has actually brought us right back into the buy zone for Harmony 1. And obviously, once wave 4 is finished, we'll be heading up towards that $1 level for Harmony 1, and this completes wave 5. So that's the entire 5 wave impulses to the upside. Now, when we take a look at Harmony 1, we can see that we've actually had from the low of March 2020 and the high of March 2021, so a single year, Harmony 1 has actually gained 18,943% in gains. This is obviously assuming that you buy in the low point of March crash and the selling at the high point of March 2021. Obviously, not many people are going to take advantage or be able to actually trade perfectly from an entry and an exit point of view, but you can definitely take a certain percentage points away from either side, and you'll still be in a pretty good position. With this being said, like myself and Chris, we've actually just hodled our way through this, and we are still intending to hodl up towards that 5th wave, where we might slowly sell off certain portions according to our exit strategy. So guys, we are actually entering into, or have entered into, our buy zone. Chris was back into the market. For anyone who was around on the member videos or in the live streams the other day, you'll be aware that Chris was in the market buying up a few coins, and Harmony 1 was definitely one of them. So we can also see that we've had some significant rise in value, and obviously coming back into this yellow box just here is the buy zone for us. So what we're going to do is jump down into our daily, and from here we can see that buy zone, right? We actually came right into here, and we can see that we came in very briefly and we went straight back out. This is a buy zone that you're not going to visit all that often, so when you come into here, it's something that we personally, not financial advice obviously, but just Chris and myself see as a purchasing opportunity to buy the dip. This is a key buy zone for us, so that's exactly what we did. Now, obviously here, there's a few things that are worth pointing out. Obviously, we're in the buy zone from the chart point of view and the candlesticks, but we can also see that we're right down low on that relative strength index on the daily chart. This is almost oversold, and we had that bounce to the upside. The other things that we can see here is during the price falling down to the downside, we can see the volume was actually increasing in negative selling pressure. With the price going back up, the volumes have decreased, right? So that's telling us from this daily view that the sentiment in the market is still fearful, right? And we can obviously take a look at that fear and greed index. It says there's extreme fear in the space. And we go over to the AI dashboard and we say, okay, what's the AI telling us? And for Harmony here, it's actually saying it's a C3 rating. So again, it's somewhere between extreme fear and fear. So again, susceptible to fear nonetheless. And of course, there are liquidity issues when it comes to Harmony. Anyone using Binance will be aware of what's going on there. So right now, we are aware that this is not going to be the best situation, but this is just the daily chart. This actually changes when we actually get into some of those lower time frames, and you can see that sentiment actually shifting and changing. So right now where we are, we can see we went into the buy zone. We've taken a good stride out of this buy zone. But again, we are still following Bitcoin's price action. So our motion to the downside was driven from Bitcoin, and the motion to the upside was caused by Bitcoin having a bit of a rally. So what's next? Well, ultimately, we're expecting Bitcoin to have a pullback. So therefore, Harmony should also have a pullback, which might put us right back into that buy zone, which will be a fantastic opportunity if you've missed it the first time round. So let's go ahead and actually jump down into our hourly chart. And then from here, what we're going to do is just expand this up so you can see this in a little bit more detail. Here we can see that we came down into this buy zone. It was very short-lived to start with. We bounced right on out of there. And then obviously we had a pullback right into here again. And again, we basically came down a reasonable way into this area. And then there was significant buying and selling volume. So huge selling volume bringing the price down, huge buying volume bringing the price back up. And again, that volume was actually dropping over time. So there's a few whales accumulating at that point, and ultimately what you saw here was a decrease in volume as the price was decreasing. This actually was quite a strange move because it meant that the sentiment was shifting. It had basically gone from reasonably high fear, right, as in the volumes and fear is basically increasing, and yet on the way up we had a decrease in volume. Yet we also, at the same time, when we topped out here, we actually had a decrease in volume on the way down as well. This actually found a good buy zone here, and it bounced off of a trend line. And this actually then saw significant buying volume come back in and take Harmony out of the buy zone altogether. It touched it very lightly here, and obviously today we've seen it move up from this zone. But what does this mean going further forward? As we briefly mentioned, Bitcoin is likely to have another pullback according to the Wyckoff accumulation pattern that's forming there. And as a result of that, we're expecting a bit of a pullback for Harmony 1. Now, obviously, we do have an interesting support line just around here. So the expectations are that we'll probably pull back just inside this area here before getting a reversal and a motion to the upside again. So I imagine that we'll look something like this. And as a result of that, we'll see the relative strength index get corrected, slight pullback before going back up again. We'll see that the volume here is actually a bit undecided, right? We can see that actually there was a bit of an increase in volume, but not too much. So ultimately, we've rallied the price up here. We've utilized that relative strength index. We are likely to get the reversal, and the volume at the moment is very indecisive as to how to go ahead. So I think Bitcoin correcting is going to bring in some increase in selling pressure. That's going to bring the price into this buy zone again, and I think it's going to get accumulated up by some whales in the space as well. So the expectations on the short term, guys, is that Bitcoin is going to have a correction. Bitcoin's correction will have an impact on all altcoins, including Harmony. Harmony will go back into this buy zone, and I think people will be snapping up Harmony 1 like there is no tomorrow once again. And as a result, you'll be accumulating Harmony 1 at heavy discounts ahead of going into Wave 5 at a later stage. And as always, guys, I'm going to quickly bring us back up into our daily view. I think it's really important that we do monitor what goes on with Bitcoin, because this is the Wyckoff accumulation pattern. This is what we're expecting to see for Bitcoin. And as a result, this is the kind of pattern that you're also going to start seeing represented across many altcoins. So the expectation, guys, is where we are right now is here. Is basically we're peaking up at the top of this particular run, that we're going to have a small pullback, nothing too major, but a pullback nonetheless that gets us into this area here before we actually take a good stride up towards 40k for Bitcoin. This 40k move for Bitcoin will actually be short-lived. We'll have another pullback before going to about 42k, and then getting a significant pullback right down here into that 30k area. Now, this whole pattern, guys, is designed for basically increasing or basically implementing maximum fear, maximum doubt about a market. It's designed to get people feeling, okay, we're out of a correction and to invest, only to have that rug pulled from beneath you. So your best position here, in my opinion, not financial advice, is to basically hodl your way through it and dollar cost average better positions where you see them. So in the case of Harmony 1, we know that we're going to go back into a buy zone ahead of a potential bounce up towards 40k for Bitcoin, which means Harmony 1 is likely to get a bounce up to a significant level itself, right out of this buy zone. So for any day traders, this is a clear opportunity, not financial advice, my opinion, to buy in on the dip and sell at a potential high level. Now, again, for me, I'm not doing that. I'm just hodling a significant position for, basically coming into Wave 5 at a much higher rate. But again, there's opportunities to trade in both directions, shorting and going long. And again, if that's your bag, then you are definitely in for a bit of a treat in the next few days. And guys, this is my kind of short update for Harmony 1. Hopefully you have found it useful and informative. There's a lot going on, and I'm trying to reassure everyone to understand that ultimately we are going to be up, we're going to be down, we're going to be up, and we're going to be down again. And it's going to be a bit of a ride. And ultimately, guys, it's the ones who act without the emotion that will be successful in the end. Hopefully you found it useful. If you have, then do go ahead and hit that like button. I really do appreciate that. And if you're new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with the new cryptocurrencies, the hidden gems, the technical analysis and news, then do go ahead and subscribe. By subscribing, you'll be kept up to date with everything we do here. It is free. You'll stay well informed. So why not? With that said, done that the way, guys, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next one.